Happy New Year's, everybody. It is officially January 1st of 2025, and a lot has changed over this past year, and I kind of wanted to talk about what happened last year and what I'm going to be doing in 2025, and just kind of talking about my life just as it is and how it stands right now. So over 2024, I do believe that was the biggest year to date of my life that I had the most amount of growth. From when I was a baby all the way up into the end of 2024, so much had changed. This was like the one year that I was like hyper focused on what I was doing, and coming into 25, I want to be even more focused than I was last year. Just to kind of cover 2024, I got my first full-time job at the beginning of the year. I worked there for 3 months. I quit that job. I was making like $17 an hour. I worked for an entrepreneur for a while, and at this time I was going to college. I started college right before the beginning of 2024, so I was going to college for computer science. Over time, I ended up quitting that job, that full-time job. I dropped out of college, and at the beginning of 2024, I was making like $2,400, $2,800 at most. In December, the end of 2024, I made $12,700, and that's the most money I've ever made in a single month ever. And that was the actual amount that hit my wallet. Really, I just kind of want to just talk about what I'm going to be doing in 2025, because I still think there's so much more room and time that I could be becoming better. Throughout 24, I've just been not the greatest person. I was not a good boyfriend, not a good friend. And one thing I wrote down in my notes is I don't have any friends anymore. I literally have no friends. Like, when it comes to actually hanging out and like having someone to text and having like a good connection with them, I don't have a single friend. I have my girlfriend. Other than that, I literally have nobody. And I remember when I was a kid, I didn't have a lot of friends, but I would always tell myself, when I grow up, I'm gonna have more friends. And now that I'm grown up, it's the exact opposite. I have none. And I also wrote something down of people really don't like to feel bad about themselves. They don't want to be around someone that makes them feel bad. It's not intentionally making someone feel bad. People don't like to root for you when you're doing better than them. And a lot of my friends that I had in the past, they had these really big goals and ambitions. They wanted to just be the best person they could be. And over time, these like dreams and goals dwindled, and they kind of just gave up on everything. And it was just like they went right back to being like everyone else. And when I mean that, I mean like the bad part of everyone else, which is just like kind of being careless with life and just not really making the most of it. I just would not fit in with them anymore. It was just like, hey, do you want to go out to eat? It was just constantly going out to eat, and I started to focus on my health. I didn't want to eat out ever. I would go, but I wouldn't eat anything. I would just go to just be there because I enjoyed to hang out with them. And over time, it was just, they would ask me to do that. It's no. Couldn't, I'm working. And then the invite just started to not happen. And I don't blame people for not wanting to hang out with me. I don't think I'm like the funnest person in the world, just because my life kind of just revolves around like this like hard mentality of just kind of business, pickleball, self-development, and it's annoying, and I know it's annoying. Speaking on health, the biggest thing that has been bothering me, like this closing portion of 24, is this issue that I've had with my own health. And it really stems from my relationship. My girlfriend's pointed it out many times, is I'm super focused on like what I'm eating, and I focus on skincare, I focus on being in the sun, my activities. I want to be playing pickleball almost every single day, but I don't sleep, and I'm eating very little. I eat like a nutritious meal, very whole foods meal, nothing processed, no chemicals, things like that, but I'm not eating enough, and I'm basically just most days meeting even with the amount of calories that I'm burning with my intake, and some days I'm just falling short of that, and I have to catch up. So I'm constantly like losing weight, gaining it back, losing weight. So I'm definitely on the bottom of the barrel when it comes to my weight class, like for my height and my build, and it's just not good. I'm starving. Like I'm starving right now. Like I said, I'm not doing a good job at this already. The actions I'm taking towards this is I set an alarm for 6 a.m. It's an everyday alarm. It's gonna go from Monday to Sunday every single week for the rest of the year. I'm waking up at 6 a.m. and I'm going to try to be in bed by at least 12. I want to hit earlier. 10 and 11 would be ideal, but 12, absolutely deadline. I have to be in bed at that time. And then for eating, I definitely want to meal prep because I like to work 16 hours a day. I hate working less than 10. It pisses me off. I feel like I'm getting nothing done. So I want to be working as much as physically possible. So making food is just never been on the table for me. So I've just kind of put it to the side and I'm like, I don't have time to eat. I literally just do not have time to eat. And if there's nothing that I can just grab and just consume, because I refuse to just go order food or just go get a burger or something like that, because it's just, I know how it's made, I know the things that are put in it, and I don't want to eat that. I would just put eating to the side. So making a meal that I could just heat up in a pan extremely fast is kind of just been what I've been doing. And I've been trying to do that. It's what I'm gonna eat when I get home because I wanna get right to work. It's really hard to say if I wanna continue. I've been going to therapy for probably like 2 months now. And that was just something I went to straight out of like, I just went out and sought out going to therapy, and it's been good. I mean, I really hate the idea of spending money. I don't spend any money, and I'm gonna talk about that in just a second as well. I've been going for like 2 months, once every 2 weeks. So it's nice. It's very cheap, but it's still like $60 a session. So I'm not like the happiest about that because I hate spending money. That part that I wanted to talk about, the spending money thing, is literally since I've made like $6,000 a month all the way up into making $12,000 a month, I don't feel like I've made an extra penny, like at all. Like I told my mom this the other day of like, I don't feel like I'm making any more money because I'm not spending anything. So I feel poor. Like I literally feel like I have no money constantly. Right now, like this is not like me complaining, but I drive a car that it's from I drive a 1997 Toyota Camry. The paint is literally sun faded and like peeling, the clear coat's peeling off. I love this car, but it was $5,000 and I've been driving it for over a year. And I could just kind of go buy whatever car I wanted. I don't, because I know that that's not where I would want my money to be. I want my money to be in some sort of investment that's actually going to benefit me. And right now this car, it kind of suits all of my needs. Sometimes it's like I need a bigger car. I need a little bit bigger car to like transfer packages. But other than that, I'm like, I can still do it with this car, so why would I buy another one? I have this mindset with anything. I don't buy anything unless it's for my health or unless it's for my business. That is it. I spend money on my girlfriend. I don't spend any money on myself. And so every single month I'm looking at like, I have a thing that tracks my expenses and it'll say like I spent $5,000 this month, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I look at my spending, it's all going straight into investments. So I'm like, dude, in reality, I'm spending like less than $1,000 a month on like me. That's it. Like I spend no money and it literally sucks. I just looked at my notes again because I know there was more things that I wanted to say, and this little piece kind of ties a little bit of everything together. And I wrote down this quote of, I'm a prisoner of my own mind. And the reason I wrote this down is I had someone say to me, why do you have all these problems, basically? Like what happened to you to create all these problems? And there's nothing that really just was like, that's what happened. I never had like, there's no trauma that like really dented me. I don't like look back on something, I'm like, that's why I'm this way. Like that's why I have these thoughts. It's literally just been like me thinking, and like the process of me thinking the way I think has just made me miserable, genuinely. And this kind of comes into like my thoughts on business, my thoughts on money. The reason why I'm going to therapy is just understanding this. And this was asked after I was going to therapy, of just like, why are you this way? Like, and I just couldn't give an answer to that. And I think about it literally every day, but I don't have an answer to that. Like, I just can't give you one. And I just think it's like, the way I think is my own burden. Like that makes me miserable. It makes me just like, everything is just colorless. Everything's gray. I'm very sad. And it's my own mind. Like, I literally feel trapped inside myself, and I'm just constantly suffering. It's like a suffering that I can easily deal with. Like, I'm fine, like, bearing the weight of, like, my own thought. But, like, I just feel like my problems stem from me. Like, I don't have any problems in my life that are external. It is all through me. And I kind of think that is the way most problems are, and a lot of people can't see that. Like, you can take your own action to fix them. You can find a way to make every problem better. And, like, the process of that sucks, though. Like, the process of understanding why I feel this way is not an easy path. And that was my thought on that. And that kind of ties, like, this thought of, I have no friends. I'm good. Like, why am I going to therapy? Why don't I feel like I have any money? Why do I need this money? And, like, I don't want to work a job forever. That's the other thing. Like, my whole pursuit. One thing I was talking about in therapy was, like, I don't have a purpose to what I'm doing at all. Like, there's no, like, so why are you making, like, all this money? Like, what do you want to do? And the only answer I can give is I know what I don't want. And what I don't want is to be constrained to a job and constrained to working every single day in something that I don't want to do. I enjoy, like, building a business and experiencing and learning. Learning is, like, my biggest thing. I love to learn things I want to learn. I have, like, a huge enjoyment in doing that. And it's not like something I'm, like, smiling and happy about, but I enjoy, like, the challenge and the final stage of understanding. I just think it's great. But I don't have a purpose to why I want to do it. It's not like, oh, I want to go travel the world. I don't have any sort of draw to anything. Like, I don't want a fancy car. I don't want a fancy house. I just want to live and be able to live freely. And that was kind of the only answer I could really give to that of, like, what's the purpose of doing all these things? Goal-wise, in 2025, my goals are a little bit similar to what it was in 24, but I'm just, like, amping it up. And in 2024, I set these really, really high goals that were, when I would tell people, they sound super unattainable. And to me, everything is attainable. Like, if you're putting it, like, realistically, you just kind of put numbers together and everything is possible, kind of. If you're really, like, it's got to be, like, realistic. Like, I'm not being like, oh, I'm going to be the richest man in the entire world. But if you put a number out and you go, okay, I have to do this many times, sell this many items, ship this many items, this equals that. So it becomes possible. So I had a goal of investing $100,000 by the end of 2024. I didn't meet that goal. I came short. I was at 91,000. So it's literally like I needed one more month and I would have got that goal. It was pretty close, in my opinion, and I'm not even upset about it, but it does piss me off that I wasn't able to do that. And I think you should set your goals so high that when you fail, it's like just more motivation to chase after that goal again. And that's kind of how it is with everything for me. And I just played this pickleball tournament that I played this guy who's an ex-pro player, extremely good. His rating is a 6.5. He's the best player I've ever played in my life. And I was pissed the whole time I was playing him because I've never felt, at least like when I'm playing, I've never felt like I couldn't beat someone. And this guy was so good. And he is the greatest player I've ever played. And I knew I couldn't beat him. Maybe one day I could beat him just on an off day, but I knew that chance is so low and I need so much more training to get to that level that I'm like, I should just quit this right now, or I'm going to practice every single day way harder to beat this guy, because it just pissed me off so much that I knew I couldn't beat him like 99 out of 100 times. It pissed me off so much, and I've literally thought about it all day. This happened last night, and it's just kind of like that. Like, things have to, like, your failures have to motivate you to strive for greatness. Like, that's just the reason why I'm setting these goals so high. So in 2025, I want to make $12,500 every single month. I've already done it. I've proven to myself that I can do that. So I should be able to do it for 12 consecutive months. And if I fall short one month, whatever, I think I can make more in one of those other months to cover that. So that is one of the goals. One of them is just being a higher rating in pickleball. I have a few other ones that really aren't that important to me because they're just, it's like the same thing, and it kind of all revolves around just becoming better. So, and I don't have that paper on me right now. I have it in a little jar. I like engraved 2025 goals on it. Other than that, that is kind of like the vision of 2025. It's very financially based, with like the financial is like the top of the tree, and then health and self-discipline are like this bottom portion of it, which it is just all, like the whole thing is what I'm trying to solve. But that's kind of like where I'm going at with this next year, and I'm so excited to see where it takes me. I want to get a house. I'm not sure if that's going to happen this year. I want to hire a full-time employee. I have part-time employee that I just need more hours. I want to pass on my business so that I can go work on something else. One of the other goals is I want to create a new business. I've been developing this other business that I'm not counting this towards it because I've been building it for like the past 3 months, which involves AI and reselling, which I'm not going to drop any like key details on that, but that's what I've been working on that for a while. And once that's finished, I want to go right into something else, like right away, and just try to figure out something new that I'm going to make. That's kind of all my thoughts that have been going on in the past like few months. Really, this closing portion of the year has been chaotic. Like my brain is just hurting so bad. But finally, it is January 1st, and we are into the new year, and we're going after it. Same thing that we've been doing in 2024, just a lot more dialed in because I know what to do. And I'm excited because last year was my first year that I've been focused, and this year I'm focused with experience. So it's going to be a lot different. Moving into 2025, I think this is going to be quite a big year. It's going to be super crazy, super successful, and you guys are going to see all of it. I'm going to be posting it on YouTube, and one of my goals is definitely to focus more on YouTube because not only does it make good money, it helps me reach a ton of people that are super helpful to me. I'm super helpful to them, and I've made quite a few really good relationships through YouTube, and I think this is something that I'm neglecting a little bit too much. But that is my recap of 2024. Those are the things I'm changing. Those are my thoughts, and hope you guys have a great 2025. So let's grind it out and have a great new year. And I'll see you guys in the next video.